What's up, everybody? It is Broken Havoc here, right here on the Broken Havoc podcast, here to review Monday Night Raw from May 10th, 2021. What can I say about this show that hasn't already been said? It's the same thing every week. It's terrible. It's not the best show. Now, I will say this. There's one little thing that I really enjoy about Raw, and that is Matt Riddle and Randy Orton. RK Bro, which I'm not going to lie, it's actually pretty entertaining to me. But Raw is just a terrible show in the long run. I've said this for the past few weeks. Come on now. Raw is such a bad show that it's so hard to watch. If I wasn't reviewing the show, I'd probably not watch it. I'd only watch SmackDown and Dynamite and NXT. But let's be straight up. This show was terrible. Not the best show in the world and not the greatest show in the world. This is a really bad show. This is like as bad it gets. You know, we got rematches, tag matches that make absolutely no sense whatsoever. And yeah, so the show starts with a 6-woman tag team match. Looks like Teddy Long booked another match. He wasn't on the show, by the way. That was just a joke. We have Charlotte, Nia Jax, and Shayna Baszler versus Mandy Rose, Dana Brooke, and Asuka. Well, what can I say about this match? This match was not the best match to start off the show. Like the show like instantly just started with this match. So, couple notes on the match. Nia and Mandy start the match. After that, Mandy gives a couple right hands to Shayna Baszler. Nia sends Mandy in the corner. Shayna tags in, works on Mandy Rose. Shayna Baszler gets taken down. Mandy sends Baszler in the corner. Asuka tags in. We get a headlock by Shayna Baszler. We get a dropkick by Asuka. Reginald does the moonsault, and Shayna and Nia come out. Then after that, Alexa Bliss interrupts. Yes, we get an interruption from Alexa Bliss, or Alexa's Playground, whatever you want to call it. Charlotte is working on Mandy Rose. Shayna tags in, kicks Mandy Rose. We get a cover by Shayna. 2 count. Nia Jax tags in. We get a slam by Jax on Mandy Rose. Headlock on Mandy. Mandy fights back. Nia tries to go for the Samoan drop, but Mandy Rose escapes. Dana Brooke tags in. Shayna tags in. We get a clothesline on Baszler. Covered by Dana. We get a 2 count. We get a backbreaker by Shayna Baszler. Shayna looks like she sprained her ankle, like literally, like I don't know if that was a work or if was that a legit injury. I do believe it was a work. I don't even know. Literally correct me if I'm wrong, honestly. I don't know if it's a work. It looked legit, by the way. Like it looked like she really messed up her ankle, but literally as soon as she said that, like you heard her say, "Oh shit," which was crazy. I was like, "Oh crap, was there a botch that happened?" I don't even know. But hey, if it was legit, then like that sucks really bad. I mean, that looked real, but I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong, please. Asuka pins Shayna for the 3 count after that. Then Charlotte just big boots Asuka. She gives Asuka a big boot. Then Alexa just laughs with Lily while she was watching. So that was pretty weird. Look, WWE said that Blood and Guts was basically taking the business back 30 years. Eventually, that can be a good thing because, hey, 30 years ago, the wrestling business, when it comes to storytelling, was at least better. But, I mean, this takes you back, I don't know. This doesn't even take me back 30 years or 10 years. My God, I've only been a wrestling fan for 10 years, but like this is pure 2021 WWE right here. When you had Alexa Bliss literally just standing there, like with their over-the-top stuff, which I'm like, look, Alexa Bliss is great. I'm just saying, like, it's just, I'm kind of about it now because it's starting to get really dumb and boring. Not even boring, just like plain bad. Like it just makes no sense. What does this lead to? You know what I mean? We get Matt Riddle and the New Day talking about their 8-man tag team match. This whole segment, in my honest opinion, was extremely overscripted. But I will say this, though. Matt Riddle was the highlight of this segment. He was talking about the whole tomato incident where, you know, Randy Orton got thrown tomatoes, which is really childish, by the way, in my opinion. Like, throwing tomatoes. Wow. That will bring the ratings up, guys. Like, throwing tomatoes at The Miz and Morrison. And then last week, you know, Riker and Elias throwing tomatoes at Randy Orton. Like, really? I mean, tomatoes. You could have thrown anything else. No, it had to be tomatoes. But yeah, this was so overscripted, but I'm not going to lie. Matt Riddle was pretty entertaining in the segment. He talks about the tomato incident, and then Orton is just standing behind. Talks about that. Randy Orton basically says that he laughs at ending careers and kicking people in the head in typical Randy Orton fashion. But yeah, Riddle was extremely funny, bro. He was funny. I'm not gonna lie. Riddle and Orton, if they actually like do become an actual tag team, I will support them because they've been they've been like the only good thing on Raw. I'm being straight up. That's like the only good thing on Raw. Everything else on the show is just god awful. All right, we get MVP backstage. He goes to Braun Strowman's locker room. He wanted to discuss business in heel fashion with Braun Strowman. Says that Lashley would rather lose the title to Strowman rather than McIntyre. Says that if he could beat McIntyre to a point, that he may not make it to the pay-per-view and it will end in a one-on-one match. What are my thoughts? Okay. I mean, last week they had a match between Braun Strowman and Bobby Lashley, and this week they had a match between Lashley and McIntyre. Like, I mean, they have a triple threat match this Sunday at Backlash, but like still, like, come on now. You couldn't like build it up to like, you couldn't have other matches instead of those. I mean, you kind of gave us in a way half the match already. So what's the point of me watching it? Like, nobody cares about this main event. Everybody cares about Bianca Belair and Bayley and Cesaro and Roman Reigns. Everything else on the show is quite forgettable. That's just me. All right. So we got Jinder Mahal, who returns. Yes, Jinder Mahal, the guy that won the WWE title, who was a freaking jobber for like almost the entirety of his WWE run, gets moved to SmackDown, wins I believe it was either a gauntlet or six-pack challenge. Correct me if I'm wrong, but this was like right after WrestleMania. So by this point, SmackDown was amazing. But like when Jinder Mahal came in, he instantly won that and just went to Backlash, beat Randy Orton for the title in shocking fashion. I was shocked too. And yeah, he had one of the worst runs with the WWE title, and it basically just, I don't want to say killed SmackDown because yeah, SmackDown in like mid to late 2017 was kind of garbage. It kind of it became a little bit better in 2018, but then 2019 came along and then it was just bad. 2020 SmackDown was bad. Now SmackDown's much better, but like Jinder Mahal, I don't want to see. Look, no offense to Jinder Mahal, but like I'm just not a fan of his. Like, come on now, Jinder Mahal says that there's a lot of new competition in WWE right now. He introduced his new partners, who I don't remember their name. I think one of them was called Spanky. Honestly, I don't even remember their names. I didn't even bother putting them in here. Oh, I did write them actually. My bad. I added them later on in my notes. I didn't even realize it. So their names are Veer and Shanky. Yes, Veer and Shanky. States that he is a former WWE champion and he doesn't want to ruin that. So, hey. Okay, it's Jinder Mahal, but I'm just not invested in Jinder Mahal. I'm just not a fan of his. Like, literally, after he lost the WWE title to Styles, and Styles had that awesome run with the WWE title, Jinder Mahal just went back to, I believe he won the U.S. title, and then after that, he dropped it to Jeff Hardy, and then boom. Speaking of Jeff Hardy, he faces Jeff Hardy. So we get Jinder Mahal versus Jeff Hardy, both men returning. Spoiler alert, though. Jinder Mahal goes over. All right, couple notes on the match. Hardy goes right after Mahal. We get a dropkick in the corner by Hardy. We get a kick by Hardy. We get a jawbreaker. A big boot by Mahal on Hardy. Works on Hardy. Stomps on Hardy. Suplex by Mahal. Continues to work on Hardy. Headlock on Hardy by Mahal. Hardy tries to fight back. We get a spinning heel kick by Jeff Hardy. Mahal fights back, sends Hardy in the corner. We get a double ace handle by Hardy on Mahal. Mahal counters the twist of fate with the knee. And Mahal hits the Colossus, the same move that he beat Randy Orton with. For the win, Mahal goes over. Do I care? I don't really care at all. I do not care at all. This show is terrible. I do not care. I'm literally like going quick on this show because I want to get this review over with because I really like I look forward to like my Dynamite reviews and my SmackDown reviews. Like this, I'm not looking forward to my Raw review, but like at the same time, if we want to get Raw, if you want Raw to be a better show, we got to watch it more and we actually have to give them feedback because, you know, criticism is freaking important when it comes to wrestling. A lot of people hate criticism in wrestling. Like if a promoter was like saying, "Oh yeah, if you told the promoter, "Oh yeah, your show sucks," and they'd probably be like, "Oh, no, our show doesn't suck. You can do whatever you want." That's basically WWE's mentality. But like, hey, it is what it is. I should tag that. It is what it is. I constantly say it over and over again. Sonya Deville backstage with Charlotte Flair, Miss Creative Control. I don't even know if she has creative control. I doubt it. But, like, I used to call her Miss Creative Control all the time. Jackson Riker and Elias are backstage talking about them throwing tomatoes again. Wow, you're going to throw tomatoes again. You're going to throw tomatoes again. That's like the greatest thing ever. I'm like, this is like the greatest thing ever. Throwing tomatoes, guys. Throwing tomatoes. Nah, but all seriously, like, tomatoes, like, come on now. Like, this embodies how bad Raw is. It's overscripted. The booking makes no sense. The storylines make no sense. There's just a lot of things that are just so childish on this show that WWE makes it seem like it's funny, but it's really not. I mean, throwing tomatoes. That's one of the most childish things I've ever seen in a wrestling show. Yeah, throwing tomatoes. Like, come on now, man. Like, you know, sometimes, I mean, when it comes to, like, WWE in general, like, WWE, like, just needs to get serious. And, like, they do have some serious elements. I mean, Roman Reigns, this guy is serious. Like, SmackDown is such a better show because, like, and look, there's still some pretty terrible parts of the show, on the show. Like, in my opinion, I am not a big fan of Otis and Gable. I don't know why they split up Heavy Machinery to begin with. They were a pretty entertaining tag team. But, like, Chad Gable and Otis, come on now. I'm not that big of a fan of them. But, like, you know, SmackDown's not the perfect show. Like, it still has flaws that Raw does with it when it comes to, like, typical, like, WWE booking. But at the same time, it is not that bad of a show to the point where it makes you want to change the channel, unlike Raw does. Raw instantly makes you want to change the channel. That's how bad this show is. From the first segment, and it can be any week, from the first segment of the show, you're literally like, okay, do I really care? And not to mention, I mean, the commentary. Like, Corey Graves is literally, like, just carrying that commentary team. Aidemon Verk, I forgot his name. No offense. I forgot his name. That new commentator, and I keep forgetting his name. I'm sorry. And Byron Saxon, they're not great. I'm sorry. They're not good commentators at all. I was never the biggest Byron Saxton fan. Corey Graves was awesome on commentary. I think he kind of went a little bit downhill, but not downhill to a point where he's, like, terrible. But, like, right now, like, when it comes to Raw commentary, I mean, that commentary team is terrible, and you have literally Corey Graves just carrying that commentary team. Everybody else on the commentary team is just terrible. Like, that new commentator, like, literally, he has, like, every time when someone does, like, a crazy move, he goes, ah, like, literally just starts, like, screaming like crazy, and I'm like, okay. I'm not a fan of that. I'm not a fan of that type of commentary. I'm sorry. Like, I'm just not a fan of that commentary. I want good commentary that, like, literally makes sense. Like, when I was little, right? When I was little, I'm not going to lie. I enjoyed Jerry Lawler on commentary. Look, I grew up in 2010. This is by then, like, Jerry Lawler was already a babyface on Raw. But, like, Michael Cole, like, I know what you're going to say. Michael Cole as a heel sucked. But that was more entertaining than this commentary. But, like, at the same time, like, back in the day, I mean, like, I remember I would watch old WWE and, like, I would hear, like, JR and Jerry Lawler. That's, like, the best commentary team. I do believe Michael Cole from the Ruthless Aggression era, him and Taz are an awesome commentary duo. And I think currently I feel like Michael Cole and Pat McAfee are a great commentary team. Pat McAfee's awesome at what he does. But this new commentary team is just terrible. I'm sorry, like, this is garbage. This is the problem with Raw. A lot of stuff is just flat out garbage and terrible. But what's not to be said about this show? Everybody knows that. Everybody knows that. All right. And another I was always like an advocate for, like, you know, WWE, like, hiring, like, Mike Tenay or something. Mike Tenay, if you guys don't know who Mike Tenay is, Mike Tenay was the voice of TNA Wrestling. Yes, I loved TNA when I was little. And I still do. Like, TNA holds a special place in my heart. But, like, and look, they did some stupid stuff too. But, like, Mike Tenay is an awesome commentator. He is smart as hell. Like, if you like commentary, you'll love Mike Tenay. I'm sorry. I'm a big fan of Mike Tenay. He's awesome. But that's besides the point. WWE, hire Mike Tenay. He is a better commentator than that new one you got for Raw. I'm sorry. Mike Tenay is a much better commentator. He's awesome. Hire him. All right, we get AJ and Omos after that. They said that, they need to take the match more seriously. Omos grabs a tomato and just crushes it. Great. We get an 8-man tag team match. We got Riddle, Orton, The New Day versus Jackson Ryker, Elias, AJ Styles, and Omos. Riddle and Elias start. Riddle tries to go for the armbar, but Elias escapes. Ryker tags in. We get a couple bit of technical wrestling by both wrestlers. Omos tags in. We get multiple right hands by Riddle. Omos no-sells those right hands. Omos throws Riddle around. Woods and Kofi try to help Riddle, but Omos throws him like a rag doll. Omos faces Randy Orton. Orton leaves the ring. Elias is working on Riddle. Ryker tags in. We got a double team by Ryker and Elias on Riddle. AJ tags in. Cover and a 2 count. He works on Riddle. Riddle tags Woods. Woods takes down AJ Styles. Cover and a 2 count. Kofi tags in. We got a double team by Woods and Kingston. We get a crossbody or frog splash by Kofi. That looked like a frog splash, but it was like a frog splash mixed in with a crossbody. We get a cover and a 2 count. We get a drop kick on the top rope by Woods. Spinebuster by Styles. Ryker tags in. We get a cover and a 1 count. He works on Woods. Elias tags in. We get double team by Elias and Ryker on Woods. We got a spinebuster by Elias. We get a cover and a 2 count. Continues to work on Woods. Woods tries to fight back. Elias plants Woods to the mat. We get a cover and a 2 count. Ryker tags in, applies a submission on Woods. Woods fights back. Ryker's preventing Woods to tag in. We get a spinebuster by Jackson Ryker. Cover and a 2 count. Elias tags in. Elias hits a twisting suplex on Woods. Cover and a 2 count. Works on Woods. Roll up by Woods. 2 count. Riddle finally tags in. Works on everybody. Elias sends Riddle in the corner. Series of elbows. We get a Bro Derek by Riddle on Elias. Omos tags in and attacks Riddle. New Day spinning AJ Styles outside the ring. RKO by Ryker and wins the match. After that, basically, Woods, Kingston, Riddle are wanting to celebrate with Randy Orton. And then all of a sudden, he RKOs Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston, but does not RKO Matt Riddle. So I do think that they will still go forward with that, with the whole RK Bro thing. But I don't know. Where does this lead to? I really don't know. I could care less. We get Sonya Deville backstage with Rio Ripley. Asuka comes in, books a match between Rhea and Asuka tonight. Rhea hates the idea that it was Charlotte. Asuka accepts the challenge, so we get Rhea Ripley versus Asuka. Okay, we got that match at WrestleMania. Do we need the match again? It is what it is. Bobby Lashley backstage with MVP. Lashley states that he will beat McIntyre again, just like he did at WrestleMania. I was about to say Backlash. No, at WrestleMania. Which I was there, by the way. It was not a bad match. I mean, the ending to that match was the way it should have been ended. I mean, Lashley, if you're going to build Lashley as a dominant heel or dominant force, I mean, it's the best way to have him win a match, especially with a wrestler of the caliber of Drew McIntyre. I do think that him applying, the Hurt Lock, I think it was the Hurt Lock. That was the finish, right? No, it wasn't the Hurt Lock. It was another submission. I don't even remember the match because I was there live. Literally, when I watch events live, I have a tendency not to watch them back over again. I would just watch a couple clips after that. But yeah, that was the best way that match was booked. So we get Sheamus versus Humberto Carillo. Okay, Sheamus talks about how he beat Mansoor last week. Talks about how the people he would give title opportunities are not at his level. Says Humberto is going to be a meme of the week. Humberto Carillo comes out. Both lock up. Headlock by Humberto. We got a shoulder tackle by Sheamus. Right hand to the back of Humberto. Sheamus takes control of the match. Humberto's getting some offense. Sheamus gets taken outside the ring. We got a springboard dropkick outside the ring by Humberto. Sheamus grabs Humberto outside the ring and sends Humberto to the timekeeper's area. Humberto fights back. Sheamus takes control again with an elbow. Chops repeatedly on the chest on Humberto. Continues to work on Humberto. Throws Humberto's spine first to the mat. Cover and a 2 count. Sheamus is about to hit the Death Valley driver on the middle rope. Hurricane Rana counter on Sheamus. Sheamus fights back. We get a couple elbows by Humberto. Sunset flip on the outside on Sheamus. The match ends with a no contest. Okay. At least it's not a disqualification, but okay, I'll take that finish. WWE is known for their disqualifications on weekly television, but I will take that. We get an Eva Marie video package. Again, I stated last week in my Raw review, look, I will judge if she's bad again in the ring. look, we haven't seen her work yet. Well, we have seen her work yet in her previous run in WWE. She was not great in the ring. She was a terrible wrestler. But I will give her a second chance. When she comes in and actually wrestles a good wrestling match, I will be like, okay, she actually is doing better in the ring. But if she sucks, okay, I have no faith in WWE at all. And yeah, she's terrible. If she's terrible in the ring. Once her first match happens, then I will judge. But right now, no. What are my thoughts on them bringing Eva Marie? Okay, whatever. Honestly, it's not going to do great for the women's division on Raw. I mean, like, they only have Asuka, Rhea Ripley, Shayna Baszler, who's in a freaking tag team with Nia Jax. I don't know why you have Shayna Baszler. Push Shayna Baszler, for God's sakes. I do not know why she's in a freaking tag team with Nia Jax. Not only that, holding titles that are not even, like, in my opinion, relevant. Those titles mean nothing. If they had literally built up a couple tag teams for the women and then introduced the titles, then those titles would mean something. No, but instead, these people introduced those titles out of nowhere with no women's tag teams whatsoever, and they just put two women together. Boom, you got a tag team. WWE does the same thing for the men, bro. They do that all the time. Literally, they just take two men out of nowhere with no backstory whatsoever. Just put them, boom, you got a tag team. That's not a real tag team, okay? That's not a real tag team. WWE sucks when it comes to tag team wrestling. They don't even focus on it whatsoever. Like, they just don't like it. They don't care about it. But what can you do? It's WWE. They're going to take your money whatsoever. They're just going to take your money whatsoever. They don't care. They do not care. They're going to take your money whatsoever. And that's the harsh reality, and it sucks. But what can we do, right? What can we do? We can just watch a terrible show. Nah, but like, yeah. I mean, I will give Eva Marie a shot. If she's terrible, I will say she's terrible. But if she has improved, then I'll be like, okay, she's improved. That's just me. You guys may think something different, but that's just what I think. You know, you gotta be. Now, granted, I don't trust WWE, but like, hey, I'll do it. Whatever. Cedric Alexander versus Shelton Benjamin. Shelton works on Alexander. We get a dropkick by Alexander. We get a dragon screw on the knee on Benjamin. Cedric works on the knee of Benjamin. Shelton fights back. We get a heel hook by Alexander. Benjamin counters with a modified sharpshooter. Alexander gets his hand on the bottom rope. We get a sliding dropkick by Alexander. We get a suicide dive by Alexander. We get a knee by Benjamin when he tries to go for another suicide dive. We get a kick by Alexander on Benjamin. Then we get a T-bone suplex by Shelton Benjamin, and he goes over and wins the match. Shelton Benjamin's great. At his age, he's awesome. He was always great, in my opinion. I was always a big fan of Shelton Benjamin. About the story that they're telling, I mean, hey, who knows what's going to happen in the future, but hey, I mean, I don't know why they split up the Hurt Business. It made no freaking sense whatsoever. I do not know why they split up the Hurt Business. That was like the best thing on Raw. And I don't know why they had to like split up the Hurt Business. That was just terrible. We get Angel Garza backstage. Drew Gulak confronts Angel Garza about what he did last week. Honestly, what happened last week was, I don't even want to mention what happened last week. It was one of the dumbest things WWE's ever done. Let's go on one of the reasons why this show sucks. Asuka versus Rhea Ripley. This was not a bad match whatsoever. Both women tore the house down. I mean, I don't want to say tore the house down, but it was not a bad match. Both lock up. We get a slap by Ripley. Dropkick by Asuka. Takes control over Ripley. Ripley fights back. Ripley stomps on Asuka repeatedly. We get an arm bar by Asuka. Legs on the bottom rope. We get a counter outside the ring by both. Rhea sends Asuka on the apron. Charlotte comes in. We get a dropkick by Ripley. Rhea takes control of the match. We get a kick to the head on Asuka. Both go outside the ring. Rhea sends Asuka to the apron. Sliding knee by Asuka. We get a cover and a 2 count. Charlotte is looking at Asuka, so she basically comes in and basically just what she does is she's on commentary. So WWE has been doing this for the past few weeks on Raw. Basically, somebody just comes in during a match, they go to commercial break, and then all of a sudden they're on commentary for no reason with no explanation whatsoever. That was really stupid. Why is Charlotte on my television screen? I do not know why. Why is she on my television screen? They shove her down our throats all the time. She's won too many titles. I'm sorry. Charlotte is not great. Everybody agrees with me. Everybody on social media is just terrible. everybody on, well, not terrible, but, well, yeah, there's some terrible people on social media, but, like, everybody agrees that Charlotte is literally getting pushed so much that it's not giving other women a chance, and that's the worst thing about it. But, hey, back on the match. Ripley headbutts Asuka. We get a Northern Light suplex by Ripley on Asuka. We get a cover and a 2 count. Double knees by Asuka. We get a cover and a 2 count. Rhea and Charlotte face off. Asuka kicks Ripley. Dropkick by Asuka. Riptide by Ripley and wins the match. It was good that Rhea Ripley went over. It'd be really dumb if Ripley lost the match because she's the champion and she shouldn't lose at all. The fact that you would book a match on television and have your champion lose is dumb. But thankfully that did not happen, so that's great. So, yeah. We get Drew McIntyre backstage. He's asked why he attacked Strowman and Lashley. He said that he had no intentions on doing anything. Says that he needs to focus on tonight, and he needs to beat Lashley at WrestleMania. Says that this Sunday he'll be WWE champion. I mean, look, Drew McIntyre is great, but like if they have Drew McIntyre win on Sunday, it's gonna like I'm just saying like it's just gonna make no sense. We get Damien Priest versus John Morrison. We get a couple right hands in the corner by Damien Priest. We get a sidewalk slam by Damien Priest. We get a cover and a 2 count. Priest works on Morrison. Morrison tries to counter a submission by Priest. We get a kick by Morrison on Priest. We get a cover and a near fall. Headlock by Morrison. Uppercut in the corner by Priest. Elbow by Priest. Kicks by Morrison. We get a stiff right hand on Morrison. Miz checks on Morrison in the outside. Priest and the Miz are outside the ring about to square up. Miz's acting is just terrible. His acting is just really bad. I'm sorry. His acting is just terrible. Literally, he's like, one of the reasons why Raw sucks is The Miz. Look, The Miz in 2016, you believed in what he said. In this show on Raw in 2021, this is the same guy that just a couple months ago was WWE champion for like 2 weeks and lost to Bobby Lashley in a lumberjack match. The Miz, his character now. Look, The Miz in 2016 was underrated. He was awesome. But in 2021, The Miz and Morrison right now are the worst aspects of Monday Night Raw. One of the reasons why this show is terrible is Miz and Morrison. It's really mostly The Miz, I mean, but yeah. But hey, we get a cover and a 2 count. Morrison clotheslines Priest outside the ring. Miz big boots Priest outside the ring without the referee looking. Morrison covers. We get a 2 count. We get a modified Russian leg sweep by Morrison. Priest begins to fight back. We get a kick by Priest. And then other kicks by Priest. We get a right hand by Priest. We get a vertical suplex into a Falcon Arrow by Priest, which looked amazing, by the way. Look, both of these guys are really delivering a really good match. This match was not bad. John Morrison is great. He is awesome. It's just I don't like the way that they book him and the way that they have him speak. That's my issue. But yeah, we get a cover and a 2 count. Priest goes to the top. We get a right hand by Morrison. Morrison is on the top. He takes Morrison out. Priest goes for a spinning kick from the top. We get a cover and a 2 count. Priest tries to go for hit the lights, a.k.a. the Reckoning. Morrison counters with a cover. We get a 2 count. Priest fights back. Miz tries to distract the referee. Morrison covers Priest. We get a 2 count. Hit the lights by Priest. We get a cover. And basically, yeah, we get a cover and Priest wins the match. So Priest will now name the stipulation for their match at Backlash. Miz attacks Priest after the match, tries to go for a skull-crushing finale, counters with a kick, but Miz just leaves in time in typical Miz fashion and in typical heel fashion. Priest hit the lights again on Morrison, and yeah. So after that, backstage, he's with Adam Pearce and basically states that he wants a lumberjack match. And yeah, so we got a lumberjack match. We got Damien Priest versus The Miz at WrestleMania Backlash. Okay. I honestly don't care about lumberjack matches. I'm not really that big of a fan of lumberjack matches, to be honest. I don't know. Just like the name of it just sounds kind of lame. Lumberjack match. Even when I was little, I was never the biggest lumberjack match fan. But hey, that's what they booked here. So let's hope the match is great. I hope the match is great because, Damien Priest is a phenomenal wrestler. He's awesome. But I don't know. I don't have faith in WWE, so. We get Drew McIntyre versus Bobby Lashley. Right away, Lashley attempts to go for the Hurt Lock. We get a cover and a 1 count by Lashley. Lashley in the beginning portion of this match literally just dominates almost like the entire time. In the first portion of the match, it's all Lashley. But then later on, McIntyre begins to get some offense. We get a headlock by Lashley on McIntyre. McIntyre picks up Lashley, and he's over the top rope, but Lashley still applies the headlock. We get a splash in the corner on McIntyre. He continues to work on McIntyre in the corner. McIntyre fights back. Lashley fights back with a couple right hands in the corner. We get a big boot by McIntyre. Both are outside the ring. We get a belly-to-belly suplex outside the ring by McIntyre. McIntyre works on Lashley inside the ring. We get an elbow in the corner by McIntyre. He goes to the top, but Lashley sends him back first to the mat. We get a headlock by Lashley. We get a vertical suplex by McIntyre. We get a kick in the corner by Lashley. Lashley sends McIntyre outside the ring. We get a couple right hands by Lashley on McIntyre outside the ring. Lashley holds up McIntyre and runs him to the ring post. Tries to go for a spear, but McIntyre sends Lashley to the turnbuckle in devastating fashion, by the way. That looked really sick. Both exchange a couple right hands. We get a belly-to-belly suplex by McIntyre. McIntyre begins to gain control. Tries to go for a future shock DDT. Spinebuster by McIntyre. We get a cover and a 2 count. We get a crossbody block by Lashley. Lashley tries to apply the hurt lock. McIntyre fights back. Lashley hits the suplex. We get a Claymore kick by McIntyre. Braun Strowman's music after that plays right after McIntyre hits the Claymore kick. He attacks McIntyre from behind to cause, you guessed it, guys, a ding, 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 a disqualification. Again, your main event of your weekly Monday Night Wrestling show ends in a disqualification. Great booking, guys. Ends in a disqualification. Why? I mean, I'm not going to lie. I was starting to enjoy the match. This match is not bad. But, I mean, every time when WWE starts to get, like, you know, a lot of great intensity, not only that, just a great match when you have back and forth going on, they always have the tendency to, like, just end it with a DQ. But, yeah, after that, Strowman and Lashley just basically, quote-unquote, hug. But instead, what do you know? Strowman just power slams Lashley, and then he power slams McIntyre. He makes MVP watch him beat up Lashley. And then he hits the running power slam through the barricade on Bobby Lashley. And he goes for the running power slam again on McIntyre. And the show ends. That was Monday Night Raw. What are my thoughts on this show? Pretty dreadful show. I'm not going to lie. The only thing entertaining to me was was Matt Riddle and Randy Orton. I'm not going to lie. Matt Riddle, I have said a lot of things about Matt Riddle on how they're like just starting to like ruin him and stuff, but I'm not going to lie. I'm starting to get used to it, and I'm actually like just starting to get like pretty entertained by it. I'm not going to lie. He actually has me dying and has me laughing. Hey, bro, like, you know, I saw this like, you know, giant TV screen, you know, like stuff like that, you know. I'm not gonna lie, Matt Riddle is actually pretty funny, and I hope him and Randy Orton are gonna be a tag team in the future, but hey, who knows. But this show was pretty terrible. I did not like the show whatsoever. The matches, I mean, McIntyre and Lashley was not bad. It's just the thing that sucked about it was the fact that this match ended in a DQ. And why this match is happening, I don't know why. I mean, they do this every time when they have a triple threat match on pay-per-view. They have 2 guys from the triple threat match, and 1 week, and then the next week the other the same guy from last week, and then the other guy from the other week. I don't know why. It makes no sense, but it's WWE we're talking about. They always do booking like this. But yeah, that was my Raw review from May 10th, 2021. What are my thoughts? Pretty terrible show, minus a little bit of things, but overall this was a really bad show that I really just don't care about. But yeah, that was Monday Night Raw. Please like. Actually, wait, not even that. Just this show in general just makes no sense. That's all I have to say. This show makes no sense whatsoever. But yeah, that was Raw. Please like, subscribe. I will be coming up on Thursday with my Dynamite review. Saturday with my SmackDown review. Now, I will do a predictions video on WrestleMania Backlash. So from now moving forward, for every pay-per-view that comes up, I'm going to be doing a predictions video, and it's going to be in a different layout, in a different form. It's not going to be in a typical layout that you see here. But I'm going to be coming up with I'm going to be uploading a predictions video for WrestleMania Backlash, because yes, we have a pay-per-view on Sunday. Like, nobody even knows that we have a pay-per-view. I'm being straight up. But yeah. But yeah, I'm going to be uploading Dynamite, my SmackDown reviews. So those 2 reviews are going to come up this week. And also my WrestleMania Backlash predictions. And we're going to be coming up on Monday with our WrestleMania Backlash review. So we got a lot of stuff this week and next week. And yeah, please like, subscribe, comment down below, push that bell for notifications. And this is Broken Havoc, signing out.